the L, this your song. Singing from the yard, cause it's so strong. Street lights met me at like 16. Little just stunting on them bikes, having big dreams. 18, painting bitches like 16. 9 had the double thin big screen. 4 2 years wrapped my Honda around a big tree. 2005 sound of Sony rocking Miss Scheme. At time fly, seen them throw it at me. I'm a G, did mine with the Lord beside me. The whole time I was there, then hit a tribe. Respect goes a long way, I noticed that action. And now back to the streets, they still playing keeps. Y'all still stay asleep, and the enemies out here devouring the weak. And you worry about your petty little salary to sweep. You see, it got you thinking about the wrong thing. Promoting real heavy like Don King. And this is that flow y'all been waiting for. So listen to the words that the song sings.
That's right. My life sorta like a cool G sweater. That's right. My life like a cool G sweater. That's right. My life sorta like a cool G sweater.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to our GYE Podcast. We have some very special guests here. Very different guests from last week, I'll tell you that. But they're very special nonetheless. So we're going to go around real quick and just introduce ourselves. I think last week they did their favorite color and their Starbucks drink or something like that. I can't remember what they did, but we'll just go with your name and we'll go with your favorite color or something like that. So my name is Noe and my favorite color is purple. Honestly, I love purple. I dig it.
Okay, my name is Alex, and it used to be red, but now it's purple. I like purple.
I dig that, yeah. Because of she has one.
I have one.
Oh, okay.
My name is Elizabeth, and I would say purple. Right now, my favorite color is purple too. I would
Purple
say that, yeah.
Purple.
I want to say purple, but to change it up, I'm gonna be like I like maroon. There you go.
Wait, but what's your name?
Oh, my name's Deandra, and my favorite color is
Her name's
maroon.
Maroon.
My name's Maroon, not 5.
So here you go.
This guy. So last week we had some very interesting conversations about cancel culture, right? And so we talked about many different things, like what is cancel culture, the definition of it, what it looks like, and how it's shaped what our culture looks like now and what people do online. So do you guys want to give us a quick brief summary of last week and a little bit of what you took from last week from our podcast, first episode?
No, I just know what cancel culture kind of is.
Yeah.
Like canceling someone because of
Yeah.
their mistakes or stuff they did in the past.
For sure.
So, and I feel especially now that we're just full on social media.
Yeah.
I feel especially at TikTok, Twitter, everywhere, you see people getting canceled and badged for the mistakes they've done. So that's what I know that's what I know about it.
Yeah, for sure.
A point that I from last week that I heard was for example, David was saying how Jesus he doesn't really that much believe in cancel culture. He's not for it.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in judging others for their mistakes.
We're going to talk about that today. That's going to be one of the lead topics. That's actually a great point that you made. It leads us into our first topic. So society today and cancel culture especially, generally society and what cancel culture is based off of is people believe today that there is no such thing as a judge, right?
What?
That there's no and furthermore, a lot of people nowadays and in modern society, a lot of people are saying, you know what, I don't know about God, I don't know about this whole faith thing. I think people should be able to choose for themselves, and you should be your own, you should be your own judge and do what makes you happy, and nobody can really tell you what to do, right? And then they turn around and say, no, you're canceled because of this, And so our first topic is cancel culture, because of that same argument, that same just analysis of if there is no such thing as a judge, and we really can't be judged, because you talked about how Jesus came not to judge us, but he came to save us, right? And so people have this notion that Christianity and a faith in God and a faith in what we believe in is a faith of like judgment and, you know, and all that. And they immediately assume wrong in that. So what can you guys tell me about that? Or what have you experienced? Because some of you guys are in college, like sophomores and freshmen, right? And so what can you tell me a little bit about that, what you've experienced with that idea?
With kind of like the cancel culture.
Cancel culture. No, there's no judge. You shouldn't judge. You know,
So
nobody can judge you, you know?
So I think it's like very contradicting.
Yeah.
Like even when you were explaining it, it's like society's like telling you you can be who you want, do what you want, go for what you want. But then the moment that you fall and make a mistake while doing something, all of a sudden everyone's like judging on you. And supposedly there's no judge. So who is the judge? Is everyone judging on you then? And then you're living a life where you're just like, now just in tippy toes, I guess. You're kind of like careful not to break any glass.
Exactly. I think that's an important point is that that even though there's like a lot of people will say like there's not I saw this quote. This friend posted this quote. It was actually after and I'm gonna just say it because it's like current events. It was Bad Bunny had released a music video, like one of his biggest hits. I'm not gonna say the name of the song. You guys know the song. It's about the girl that dances alone. And so he had released a music video, and then a friend of mine posted a quote that said, "The correct religion is to be a good person." Pretty much saying like there's no such thing as like a correct religion, right? And so immediately I was like, why is he canceling my religion, my faith? You know, what are you trying to say about my faith? And I DM'd him and I was like, hey, bro, like, I don't know what you're assuming here, but let's talk about it, you know? And I was like, are you assuming this? Are you assuming that? And I showed him how making an assumption like that, making an assumption of whenever you tell somebody else what to do, you're essentially doing what the other person like. You know what I mean? If I tell you nobody should tell you how to live, I'm telling you how to live. Yeah. You know what I mean? And essentially, that's what cancel culture is we're extracting the idea of a Christian God, of a faith, and now we're switching it to let's be our own judge and let's all decide right now in 2020 what's culturally acceptable. So what can you guys like tell me about that? What about you, Alexis? What do you think about that? Like about just how people react to things like that?
I mean, it's a little hard to like kind of talk about because it's true. Like, I mean, a lot of people are being, I don't know if this is the correct word, but ignorant when it comes to like, oh yeah, the freedom of stay, you know, freedom, everything, you know, you can do what you want. And honestly, like, oh yeah, and I kind of feel like where the guy's trying to say is that all religion is based on being a good person, because every single positive thing that you do, like not like, you know, stealing, not doing anything negative, not doing like, you know, nothing negative to anyone else. That's, if you think about it, it's all a religion, but it's like I feel like they're all based off of like the Bible. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like like everything is based off of like not just Christianity, but just off the Bible, off of what God has spoken, and it's like a copy written of other religions. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah.
What I find weird is like, okay, if we're all supposed to do what we want and we're supposed to be a quote unquote good person, what's that's relative to you. What you think is a good person, I may not think it's a good person, or what he may think it's a good person, Elizabeth may not think it's a good person. So where do we stand? Like as a society, then where are we going? What are we gonna do? What kind of person we want to be? Like, but you're saying that do what you want, but then you're saying you're canceled for doing what you want. And so if I'm like, say I'm a Christian and I'm standing up for what I believe in because society's telling me do what you want, well, what if I want to stand up and say who God is? I'm all of a sudden canceled. Like it makes no sense to me. Like it's relative.
It's like a play on words.
It's a play on words,
you know?
It's like,
because like it's like do what you want, and you're like, I am doing what I want. You know what I mean? Like I'm being who I am because I believe and I'm a Christian. You know, and then boom, you're canceled. Okay, that makes sense. Wow.
Like an example I saw was that I was on TikTok the other day, and like there's this girl, like she is a Christian, and then like out of nowhere, like it popped up on my For You that people were like canceling her because she was like dancing to like a worldly song. They're like, you're not supposed to do that because you're Christian, but you're like, be who you are. Well, she's doing what she's doing, like she wants to do that. So.
And just a reminder, guys, like, who are we? It's even biblically written, but I kind of read it on my phone, but I don't know what the exact verse is. But basically, like, we shouldn't really judge others. Like, who are we to judge? If that makes sense. Like, only God can judge.
Yeah.
You know, and it just makes me look bad. I mean, I'm already committing a sin if I'm judging Elizabeth, I'm judging Deandra or Noe. You know.
And what's interesting about that, and I love what you said on right off the bat on the first point, was that like Jesus didn't come to cancel people. Mm-hmm. But why is that true? Because he got canceled. Like, you know what I mean? On the cross, he was
7 days later, bro.
Like
like a whole week later.
Like he got canceled. Like he was rejected, and he was ridiculed. And I remember like this one time, I was sitting in the car. I was sitting in my car, and I was listening to like some podcast or worship music, and I remember just feeling so like, I just feeling just so, just ashamed and bad, and it was just not a good day for me. And I just felt like God reminded me that he was ridiculed, he was canceled, he was broken, he was literally like rejected and put on blast so that I wouldn't be. You know what I mean? And that's what cancel culture is about. It's about putting people on blast and ridiculing them for their mistakes, right? But if we know that there's somebody that already took that cancellation for us, you know what I mean? Like think about your favorite show being canceled. Think about your favorite there's sometimes like your favorite food, like you go to Kroger and they no longer have those cookies. Discontinued. You know what I mean? It no longer exists, you know? It's like put out of existence. And so Jesus went through that for us. He was completely cut off, you know, and ridiculed and canceled so that we wouldn't be canceled, you know? What can you guys tell me about that? What can you guys share about that?
I'm like,
you're like, whoa.
But he just said, whoa, I know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
I was just low-key thinking of a comment that people really out here thinking they're Thanos, like snapping their fingers and just making people disappear.
Yeah.
But
Thanos trying to cancel.
Canceling. But I think it's very important for us as a society and us individuals as Christian to know that, because when we have that outlook in life, we see people with love, with compassion, instead of like anger and judgment, just like society does it, you know?
Wow.
And then it's funny because society also tries to put that, but then it shows that. So Jesus is really the way that shows us how to really live in love and really live in compassion and view others in that way. We weren't called to judge others or even call others to live their life a certain way. And I think as humans, sometimes it's really hard for us to not do that, because sometimes we like to have control. We like to things go our way, or we like things, people agreeing with us or doing things our way. And it's kind of hard sometimes to do that. But when we really strive to have the outlook that Jesus had, that he came, that he's the one who took all cancellation, it really like it hits us and it changes us.
We shouldn't be doing that to each other.
And we shouldn't be doing that to each other. And you start viewing things differently.
That's so powerful that you say that. And I think this is like one of the last topics we're gonna hit as we're wrapping up this podcast. Is that like when you experience the gospel, when you experience the message of Jesus in that way, your heart no longer wants to cancel people, but it wants to love people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because a heart that doesn't know the gospel, a heart that doesn't know Jesus, is going to be a judgmental heart. It's going to be a heart of just like that just immediately wants to like call out people for their sins and wants to judge and wants to be ridiculed and things like that. And when you see what Jesus did for you and did for us, you see that that he was canceled so that we wouldn't be, and your outlook on people changes, because I no longer see Alexus as like a dumb person that made a dumb mistake. I see him as like that's my brother. You know, I'm not like I was like I see him as like that's my brother, and I could have easily made that same mistake. I'm just as capable as making that same mistake as Liz, and Liz same for me. You know what I mean? But I know this because I know that God loves me. I know that God is my judge, you know, and because I know that God is my judge, I also know that Jesus is the one that took my place and got canceled for me, and that gives me hope, you know.
And then also another reason why we shouldn't like judge each other on like our mistakes is because he might have made a bigger mistake than I did, but in God's eyes all sin is equal.
Exactly.
So we really have no place to judge on who sinned more than if Deandra sinned more than me or if Alex sinned more than me, because it's all equal in God's eyes at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I like how you said that, how we should have like ojos de amor, like eyes of love, and not really, you know, automatically be the one to judge or to really be like, oh man, I mean, she messed up, that's bad, you know, like I'm gonna tell you you're bad. But no, like if anything, we should be close like Jesus, right? Like, am I right? Like we should be close. We can be like him, but we should reach to be close like Jesus, because he set a good example of how we should be, because he never looked at us con ojos like de odio, like, oh, like you're so bad, or so, like, don't even get close to me. No, he even went to those who became bigger sinners, and it's like, wow, like I should be driven like that too. I should be able to get close to everyone and actually not judge them, but help them and really guide them to the correct path.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is that even with knowing, there's people that denied him, that said you're not the Christ, you're not the God. And there's people that absolutely said like you ain't it, bro. You know what I mean, from the get-go, and yet he still loved them. Yeah. You know what I mean? They try to cancel him early on. They try to like put him down early on, and yet he still had that same eyes of love. They said like, you know, that whatever message you come here with, like from like what we were talking about at the beginning, some people will say, you know, there's no God, there's no such thing, you know, whatever message you're coming here with, you're canceled. Like he experienced that, and yet he still went to the cross for them. He still loved them. He still wanted to redeem, you know, humanity, and he still did that, you know. And so if we can see ourselves first and foremost, and have that reflect upon our brothers and sisters, then the stigma and the heaviness and the weight of cancel culture that it brings, and the shame and the sense of like punishment and just completely like blacklisting that it does, can be lifted, because it really makes us equal. We really have all messed up. Yeah. We really are all sinners. The Bible says it in James, everybody's a sinner, and the one who says is not is a liar. James 5, go read it. Like it literally says that, you know. So, but there is hope for that, which is Jesus, our substitute, our cancellation, the one that got canceled for us, you know. Any final thoughts? Anything you guys take away from this conversation and podcast as we're wrapping up?
One thing you pointed out, that Jesus, like you said, he was also canceled, but he didn't let the actions of those demotivate him of what his purpose was. Wow. Which was to save humanity, even though some of that humanity betrayed him. So like we have that heart there for us, that big heart and that loving heart, that even though you canceled me, I'm still here for you. Wow. Like, and I think that's so beautiful to see and so important to reflect, and it's something we really need to strive for. And I know it's not easy, because the world, there will be people that demotivate you, that will bring you down or cancel you, but we are not called to give up on them or even judge them, but we're just keep calling to love them and love others. And when we do that, and we show that, that's how you show the light of who Christ really is, of that person who really lives in you. So don't be motivated by what others say, but rather be motivated by the heart that Jesus has.
Wow. Yes. Drop it.
No, yeah, it's completely like, no, it's like what Deandra said. We should drive to be the perfect example to others, you know. Yeah. Not really bring someone down. Not really, like I said, don't judge others. Don't be the one to be God, because you're not. You know, we're not. Yeah. Wow. If anything, we're we're the lambs, you know. El pastor is God, and we should be the ones helping each other out and not really judging others, and really, you know, together we make it through this. Because I mean, we're in the end of times, we're helping each other through this all together. We're all in this together. If that makes sense.
Liz, any final thoughts?
I was gonna go based on what something that Alex said. It kind of like blanked out. I'm sorry, but
You cancel.
it was like off of what he just said. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Well, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're so happy that you guys joined us once again this week. Just a reminder, we're going to be doing this every week. Our podcast is here every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Tell your friends about it if you want to join into the conversation. Also, Sundays at 2 p.m., our live service. You can come and you can join us. We have live worship. We have games. We have a powerful message. So tell your friends about it. And we'll see you Sunday, and we'll see you next week at 7:30 p.m.